If you could only use one machine for the rest of your life out of the rower, bike and ski erg, what would you pick? Let's have a chat about it. Which one's the best? It's not really a true question. They've all got their uses, they've all got their pros, they've all got their cons. We're going to discuss those right now. So if I had to kind of just put a blanket label on the pieces of kit, I would say the bike is great for beginner to advanced. The rower, intermediate to advanced, and the same for the ski erg. A couple of reasons. The bike, less technique. There's less technique involved with it. Set yourself up and you can move at whatever pace you feel like is appropriate for you, depending on giving the workout. The rower and the ski erg require a certain element of power, strength and technique to maximise that. So let's look at it from a coach's perspective. The ski erg requires that element of technique, power and strength, and also a massive amount of endurance and strength endurance. So endurance, the ability to just keep moving, strength endurance, so the muscles don't fatigue. The same as a rower, they've both got that kind of resistance element to it. The bike doesn't have that. The harder you push, the harder it gets. So you can kind of ease off and go at a nice steady pace with that. It's hard to do that on the ski erg. The ski erg, from a muscle standpoint, requires a big, like, whole body flexion. It requires the body to flex. So if we're looking at flexing, this is flexing, this is extending. So flexion and extension. The ski erg requires a massive amount of flexion in the body. To do that, you need great core strength and the ability to go from this kind of like loose extended position to then kind of really powerful contraction where we're contracting the muscles to kind of do the force. The same on the rower, we've got that big kind of flexion where the body kind of like goes in towards the screen. We're then kind of driving, big extension at the back. That's that kind of big power drive. And the bike doesn't have that. The bike just, you can just sit there. There is an element of contracting, obviously, when you're pushing the pedals down or pulling the handles or pushing the handles, but it's not as heavy as the rower or the ski erg. The ski erg requires that massive amount of power there and just kind of good level of base strength. The bike, you don't need that. You can get on there and get a great conditioning workout whatever capacity you're at, whereas to maximise the ski erg and the rower, you need that bit of power, that bit of strength to do that. But also combine that with technique. If you have no technique in that and you're just using all your power to move, you'll burn out very quickly, as I'm sure some of you have already experienced. But the same again on the rower. If we know you haven't got that base level of strength, we put someone on the rower, they're not going to feel like they're doing much because there's no power behind the pull. They need that kind of strength and power to maximise the machine. So, given a given workout, it depends on what the workout is. If we know we want you to keep moving and take out any sort of like muscle fatigue, we're probably going to put you on the bike. So certain workouts require the bike and you'll be better off doing the bike. Obviously we only have 4, but it's just given, let's say everyone can get that machine, we'll probably put you on the bike. If it's a big sort of like pushing workout, or we're doing some bench pressing or whatever, or some clean and jerk overhead, then the rower and the ski erg might be great because it's a big pulling movement. So it's a big pull down or a big pull in, which will go great with a pushing type movement or a squatting movement. The bike's that good all-rounder, so we can kind of put you on the bike and generally we know everyone's going to be out of breath because you can go at whatever pace you want to go at. It's a bit of a full body burn, quite a heavy leg burn, whereas the rower is a full body workout. The ski erg is more of an upper body one, although you do feel it in your back of your legs and your bum cheeks because you're bending forward. It depends. There is no best option, it's just there's benefits and there's pros and cons to all the machines. But again, think of it as the ski erg's more of an advanced movement, bike's an all-rounder, and the rowers are kind of that bit in the middle. But to get the most out of the concept too, is the rowers and the bikes, you need that strength, power, and technique to maximise it. If you're doing fast-paced intervals, we probably want you on the bike. Because again, anyone can go to that capacity where they can kind of push hard and get what they need out of it. Whereas the rower, if we're doing like 30-second bursts and you can't get up to speed or you struggle to get up to speed with a bit of power, 30 seconds isn't going to do anything for you. You need to be on there for a good sort of 5 minutes or so to get that kind of conditioning feeling. The same as the ski erg, to get that kind of power, we know you've got to move powerfully and really contract and flex the body to kind of get that power down and get any sort of distance on the ski erg. So if you struggle with that kind of strength and power and speed, then that might be an issue with that. So building capacity up on the bike, just to move for a long time, doing moderate strength training, getting a little bit stronger, and then experiencing the Concept 2 machines, maybe the rower first, and then progressing to the ski erg is a good way for that. But yeah, it depends obviously what the workout is. They all work slightly differently. Ski erg, big contraction, big, heavy, fast contraction. It's a big, powerful pull. The rower, you got the same kind of feeling, but you get a slight pause. You can control that breathing a little bit. It's a little bit easier. You sat down for one as well. And the bike has no kind of like big, heavy kind of flexion or contraction there. It's just steady, which is why beginners especially find that just taxing because it's just very heavy cardio with low fatigue in the other parts of the body. The rower doesn't give that unless you've got that specific strength and speed, same as the Concept, same as the ski erg. So hopefully that's given you a bit of a brief overview of what those machines, pros and cons are, what they can be used for in the certain workouts, maybe which one you should be choosing for a given workout. Any questions, guys? Feel free to let us know, speak to us in class. Other than that, enjoy and we'll see you next time.